Wow, so pretty.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
Brought to you by NordVPN. For those who don't know what a VPN is, it basically is a tool that secures your computer's internet connection to guarantee that all of the data you're sending and receiving is encrypted and secured. And this is very useful when you travel for several reasons. First, public Wi-Fis. These are very convenient, but also a great way for a hacker to steal data from you. So by using NordVPN, you make sure no one is snooping in on your connection. Second, NordVPN is also a great way to get the best hotel deals, since prices can change depending on which country you're booking from. Third, a VPN is the only way to watch location-restricted content on Netflix or your favorite channels. And last, a VPN is actually necessary to bypass internet censorship in some countries like China or Iran, for instance. Visit the link in the video description to receive an increased discount. And if you do not like the product, don't worry, it has a 30-day money-back guarantee.
My first question is, have you ever been to Canada?
Yes, I have. I've been to Montreal.
That's the only place you've been to?
That's it, yeah.
I have been to Canada many times.
Okay, where exactly?
I've been to Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver.
No.
Why not? Is there any particular reason?
Well, I'm from Texas, and it's quite far to go to Canada, and I didn't have any reason to visit.
What is your perception of this country?
Canada to me feels like a more chill, relaxed version of the United States, with a bit of a, I guess, a European feel compared to the United States. The more of the personality of Europeans living in Canada, but USA's neighbor.
Oh, so I'm a huge Degrassi fan. So lots of good perceptions, good ideas about it. Beautiful areas. Mm-hmm. I really like the native culture. So is it Inuit? I don't want to say it incorrectly, but like the native culture, I'd want to learn about that if I went. Mm-hmm. So my interpretation is really good healthcare, mm-hmm. and really good healthcare, friendly people, mm-hmm. and poutine. That's my, basic.
Kind of like a cousin of the United States. A bit nicer. I mean, from when I was out there, everyone was super sweet and the accent was a little bit cuter. Yeah, great healthcare system as well.
Okay, and what about the landscapes?
Yeah, I mean, in the cities, Toronto, Vancouver, sort of more of a traditional North American cityscape. Montreal has this older European feel, but then the middle of the country is just beautiful countryside and, mountains or, sort of the heartland of Canada. I
mean, I've only seen, like I said, I've only been to Montreal, so it was very much a metropolitan city. But I know that, the reason really I would like to go to Vancouver is because of the natural landscapes out there in the Pacific Northwest. So it seems really beautiful, and I've heard that's one of the cleanest cities in the world, so it'd be nice to go.
And do you think there is a big diversity of landscapes?
I don't think so. You have your cities and you have then the wide open countryside in the middle of the country.
What about the climate?
Very cold. A reason why I would not preferably want to live there?
Well, I spent the winter in Montreal once. It was a pretty dreadful winter. I mean, it's a beautiful city, but it's one of the coldest places I think I've ever been. And
what do you think are the main misconceptions about Canada?
Unbearable winters. Mm-hmm. Which I probably would find them unbearable as I'm from a hot place. People are always nice. I'm not sure if that's really true, but mm-hmm. I'd like to think it is. Let me have the dream. And maybe, a general misconception as an American that we sometimes have is, healthcare, if it's socialized, you never see a doctor. Okay, but I'm sure that's not. I mean, healthcare's a thing, sorry. But I don't know of any bad ones. Canada's known to be beautiful.
Okay, so
right?
It's only positive.
Yeah, so far.
I've never heard of anything bad about the country, to be honest. Like, it's always like they're nicer than the US, better kind of government systems, the Prime Minister is great. So honestly, I've never really heard of any negativity regarding the country.
I think a lot of people don't think about Canada perhaps, or it's not like it's sort of United States neighbor, and so in that part of the world it feels like United States is more in the news or more the center there in the continent of North America. So I think a lot of times it can be overlooked, but I think once you get to know Canada and spend time there, it's a really interesting place, and the people in Canada are one of the most interesting aspects.
So I'm gonna show you the video.
Yay!
Did you know there was a desert?
No.
Wow, that's just stunningly beautiful. It reminds me of like Norway or something. Farmland. Oh wow, Native Canadians, I guess. I wouldn't have never expected that to be there in Canada as well. Yeah, of course the French influence in Quebec makes sense.
Bienvenue en Alberta.
Always cold. Nah. Just not the winter. Okay.
But you know, there are some areas where it's actually not so cold, even
Yeah.
in the winter. Like
I've
Vancouver.
heard.
Wow, it's stunningly beautiful. I wouldn't have even imagined. Oh, buffalo, wow, and bears. Oh, wow.
Didn't know there was like polar bears.
Well, the food looks amazing too. Okay, Canadian lobster looks pretty good.
It was. Did you know there was Canadian wine?
No, I had no idea. I thought it would have been too cold to grow wine in Canada. I love the city. I think that was Toronto. Beautiful. I just like the city. Big cities.
There you
That's
go.
Montreal, yeah.
Cowboy. Okay, cowboys. I didn't expect cowboys in Canada as well. Don't go to Canada.
So pretty. I think that they're all different and they each have their own unique, important things, which is kind of cool. But yeah, no, it's as diverse as I thought it was going to be. I love the nature.
Okay, was that maple syrup?
Yeah.
So pretty.
Wow. I didn't even know that they had like an aurora light. That was in Canada as well?
Yeah. Did the video surprise you in any way?
Yes, I had a more of a simpler view of Canada, perhaps. I know the cities on the sides, you know, on the coast, but I didn't seem like there was a lot of photography and imagery of the center of Canada or the forest or the nature, which makes sense. But I just never thought of Canada and a natural, you know, naturescape destination.
Yeah. A lot of animals I did not know existed in Canada. That was really interesting. Yeah, it looked way more expansive than I thought. But granted, I haven't been to, like I said, I've only been to one city. But yeah, it was beautiful.
In terms of diversity of landscapes?
Oh, no, it was surprising. I didn't think it was all one forest or all cities, but yes, it was very diverse, which I hadn't seen all of that diversity in my own research.
The landscapes you saw, did you
Yeah.
expect them?
No, definitely not the desert. That was definitely surprising to me. I would say, like, for sure, I knew that there were beautiful mountains and really, you know, a lot of greenery. But apart from that, I didn't know that there were kind of like dry or arid landscapes. So that was really nice.
And what were the things you were not expecting to see?
I mean, the video highlighted diversity, more of the population, which I typically don't think of Canada as being as diverse as maybe the United States, but you know, there were images of people of all different, it looked like races and backgrounds, and I guess are they Native Canadians or Native Americans? I don't know what they're called in Canada, but I didn't even think of that sort of population existing in Canada.
And what about the food?
I guess lobster was, it's very common in Boston and Maine, so I would assume that's there as well. And being in Montreal, we did have a phenomenal, I guess, like itinerary. We actually, my friends and I are big foodies, I would say.
Okay.
So we really kind of focus on that when we travel. So that's not a surprise to me, but I'm sure there's even better options even on the West Coast.
And what about the wine?
Yeah, I would be interested to try it. I wouldn't think that it would have the right climate to have sort of like French wine or California wine or New Zealand wine. But I mean, who doesn't like wine? But I had no idea that Canada grew wine. Again, I didn't think that the climate would have been suited for that.
Did it make you want to go there even more?
Yes, it added things to my list of, I'm gonna rewatch it at home and figure out what each place is that I see that I like.
Yeah, it made me want to explore more of the countryside or outside of the places I've been to in Canada, like, you know, the Yukon near Alaska. I've never been to Alaska and thought that whole part of the world seems really interesting to visit. It looks as diverse of landscapes as what I, you know of my own home country, the United States. So it makes me eager to explore more.
Yeah, definitely.
Even more, I mean.
more so, yeah. I definitely want to check it out. You know, maybe do a long road trip across the country, see it out. Yeah, I've never had that, had the idea of doing that. But yeah, this video was beautiful, truly.
Glad you like it.
Yeah.
Mission complete.